You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float in your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the model high school Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today. High school basketball coverage begins now. This broadcast is produced by Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ Radio. Coverage is also provided on the Southeast Sports Network. You're watching high school basketball action.
Get you ready for boys basketball now between the Model Blue Devils and the Temple Tigers, and to say that there have been some really intense battles between these teams in recent years would be an understatement. Of course, one game that really stands out is the region championship last year, in which Model took Temple to overtime. Anybody that follows Model basketball will never forget the clutch three-point shot that sent it to overtime from Stevie Dallas that absolutely brought the place down. And then, of course, the Blue Devils were able to pick up the win and win the region championship. It was just an unbelievable environment and just a great basketball game. So great battles between these couple of teams over the last couple of years, and I would imagine we're going to get more of the same coming up in this one. So the Blue Devils come into it riding a 5-game win streak, 12-1 overall, have not lost during the regular season, a region game at 4-0. Meanwhile, the Temple Tigers, it's kind of been a mixed bag for them this year. Of course, one of the things that they've had to try to overcome over the course of the season is, I was looking back at my scorebook, and every player that started in the region championship game last year, they were all seniors. So they've moved on, graduated, and so you've got a Temple Tigers team that's pretty young, breaking in some new guys in different roles this year. And they are 8-8 overall, 3-2 in region play out of Region 6A Division I. So obviously this is a region game between these two teams. The Model Blue Devils are scoring at a high clip this year, almost 72 points a game. They're allowing just 47.5 points a game. Meanwhile, on the other end, Temple Tigers are averaging 59 points a game and giving up just 52.5 points a game. We're going to take our breath one more time. A 2-minute timeout. We'll come back, give you the starting lineups and get things going inside Woodard Gymnasium. It's Model and Temple when we come back in 2 minutes.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors have a tough, heavy-duty steel frame, so they can lift fallen trees and everything else thrown our way. And you're tough, too. You maintain roads and mend fences and give your neighbors a hand and still make it to church on Sunday. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Already time to give you the starting lineup, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the Temple Tigers, and we'll start with number 0, Chris Holland, a junior this year for Temple. Also number 1, BJ James, a senior. Number 4, Josiah Walker, a junior. Number 10, Isaac Briscoe, a sophomore. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Temple Tigers tonight on the road is going to be number 13, Josiah Bullock. He is a junior, so of the starting 5 for the Temple Tigers, only one of those players is a senior this year. Their head coach is David Cottrell. Meanwhile, for your Model Blue Devils, we'll give you their starting lineup, then we'll get things rolling inside Woodard Gymnasium. We'll start with number 10, John Mason, a senior. Number 21, Bryson Denson, just a junior this year. Number 22, Bryson Bell, another senior in the lineup tonight. Number 25, just a sophomore, he's Chaden Woodley. And then number 30, another senior, Dominic Fraley. He is 6'5", starting in his senior year. The head coach of the Model Blue Devils is Jacob Travis. Of course, last year, Model Blue Devils went to the Sweet 16. They've had multiple Elite 8 trips in recent years and a Final Four run a couple of years ago. And they have played some absolutely electric basketball over the years here at Model on the girls and the boys side, and we're excited to be here tonight to bring you the call of the Model Blue Devils and the Temple Tigers. Model has had a lot of success this year, 7-0 at home. Meanwhile, Temple Tigers, they are searching for their first road win of the year. They are 0-4 on the road, and they have got a tough place to do it. Not the usual big crowd that we have here out at Model, but still a pretty good crowd. It's going to be a good environment. Model wins the tip-off, and we're ready to go. Blue Devils will have possession of the basketball as we begin the ball game. They're going to send it right wing side to Bell, now onto the near side. They get it into the corner. There's Denson, fires the 3 and knocks it through to open up the scoring. Bryson Denson, where he's picking up where he left off last game, where he scored 21 points against Sonoraville. 10 players scored for Model in that game, by the way. A steal. It's Denson. Splits defenders. Goes in. Strong move to the bucket. Didn't get the shot, but he is going to the free throw line. And, man, you want to talk about free throws. He shot a lot of them in the game, particularly in the first half against Sonoraville on Friday in Model's last game. I forget what his final totals were, but I think he made 8 free throws in just the first half. First one's on the way for Denson. He's dialed in out of the gate. He's got 4 points, and Model's opened up a 4-0 run to start the ball game and looking to add to it with another free throw coming up for Mr. Denson. Bryson fires the second free throw, a little flat on that one, goes off the side of the rim. And a rare miss from Denson from the charity stripe. Going to have a trap at half court there by the Blue Devils. Temple's able to work around it. They go underneath. Nice pass underneath the Briscoe, who gets the first points of the ball game there for Temple, and now it's 4-2. As Temple trying to find an answer here for the Blue Devils. Denson underneath to Dominic Fraley, backs his way in, misses the shot off the side of the rim. And Temple comes out with it. Coming out with the ball was Briscoe, who just scored on the other end of the floor. Tigers across the timeline. They're in their black uniforms with gold letters and numbers and white trim. Models in their home white uniforms. Long 3 on the other end goes off of the apparatus behind the backboard, so it's out of bounds, and the Blue Devils will bring it back the other end of the floor. Model in their white home uniforms with blue letters and numbers, and it looks like black trim. Dominic Fraley with the ball, going to give it off to Chaden Woodley, sends it left wing side. Nice ball movement, crisp pass underneath from John Mason to Dominic Fraley, and Fraley with the finish. Model back to a 6-2 lead, back up by 4 points, 6:25 left to go in the first quarter. Chris Holland across the timeline for Temple, sends it to the left wing side. Now back up top, they go to Josiah Walker. Now back around to the top, going to give it to Briscoe. Now with the basketball is Holland. They work it around the horn to the left wing side, going to break baseline, fires it underneath, drives inside, puts it up and scores. Great move there by B.J. James, and the finish. It cuts it back to a 2-point ball game. Model with it on the other end. Bryson Bell to Chaden Woodley in the corner and drills the three. What a shot by Chaden Woodley, the sophomore. And Model is out to a 5-point, 9-4 lead early in this one. Temple on the other end, going to drive the lane, backs his way in, puts it up, hangs on the rim and rolls in. B.J. James has got his second bucket here in this game early. 9-6, Model leads it to 3. Temple hanging in there though. Bryson Denson, good ball movement for the Blue Devils. They get it underneath to Dominic Fraley, kicks it back out to Woodley, fires it across. They get it into the corner to Bell, steps in, puts up the shot. He travels. They say he shuffled his feet before he took the shot. And Temple's going to try to take advantage of a turnover here. Bringing it up the floor is going to be Chris Holland, the junior. He looks off to the sidelines to his coach, David Cottrell. Gets the play call as he crosses over midcourt. Sends it to the far side over to B.J. James. Now back around to the near side. They get it to Holland. Back up top. Temple with a little ball movement here. They're going to bounce it underneath. He'll try to back his way in. Lost the handle, but it goes to his teammate. That's Bullock. And he double dribbles. So this is coming back to the Blue Devils. Model leads at 9-6, 4:50 left to go in the first quarter. Hope everybody's having a great week. It's hard to believe that we're already almost at the midway point of the first month of the year 2026. And I'm gonna brag on myself here. I have not had to change a 5 that I've written down by hand to a 6 yet. 13 days into the year, that is a record. I'll do it tomorrow, I promise you. I'm gonna mess that up because I said that. Here's Bryson Bell, drives towards the lane, has the pass picked off there by Josiah Bullock. Good hands there for that young man. Drives in, Euro step, gets it close to the rim, misses the shot, but he does get fouled, so we're going to see the first free throws of the game here for the Temple Tigers, who trail right now 9-6. So big free throws coming up here for Temple, and they have come into this contest with a lot of confidence and energy after picking up a 58-38 victory last week on Friday against Haralson County. First shot is up, it is through. He gets ready for a second free throw. That cut it to a 2-point ball game. And I was looking for some stats for Temple from their previous game. I could find some on the girls, but I couldn't find any on the boys. Second shot is through, so I'm sorry I don't have any numbers for them. I tried from some inside sources earlier to track some down, but I couldn't round anything up. Here is Woodley, loses the handle. The ball is turned over. Here comes Temple back the other way. They're going to send it left wing side. Now they're going to work the baseline, bounce pass underneath, driving in. They try to kick it out to the right wing. We're going to have a whistle, and I believe a foul is going to go against Model. They say it's Bryson Bell who committed the crime. So we'll get ready for Temple to inbound the ball. Chris Holland surveys the floor. It's going to lob it in. They go to the top of the key, working around the left wing side to Walker. Now back up top to Holland, who goes to work inside and gets blocked by Dominic Fraley, who feeds it instantly to Denson. Bounce pass, trying to get it to Woodley. Got a little bit out of control and out of sync on the other end. Officials talk it over, and they say that it is staying with Model. It was off on Temple. And so the Blue Devils set to inbound the basketball underneath their own basket, leading it by 1 point. 9-8 early in this one. They kick it out. Dominic Fraley, wide open three, bounces high off the rim. Rebound is going to go to Chris Holland as Model comes up empty on that possession. Already about to have our first substitution for the Blue Devils, as it looks like Justin Finley is ready to check into the game. Temple with the basketball between the circles. Going to leave it off there for Bullock. Bullock around. There's a three-point shot off the front of the rim for B.J. James. Across the timeline goes Chaden Woodley, gets blocked. That doesn't happen very often. Ball goes out of bounds. It stays with the Blue Devils, though. John Mason set to inbound the ball for the Blue Devils. Tyler Harrell into the game for the Blue Devils. They're going to fire it up top to Bryson Bell. Now to the right wing side. John Mason launches the long-range three, and it is nothing but net for Mr. Mason. Third made three rather of the game for the Blue Devils. They now lead it by 4, 12-8. Here comes a little runner for Temple off the back board and off the front of the rim. Mason's got the long rebound, dribbles behind his back, shaking off the defender. Here's Denson, the feed underneath the Harrell. Strong move to the basket and finish for Tyler Harrell just in off the bench. And a timeout's going to be called by David Cottrell and the Temple Tigers, as Model now leads it 14-8 over Temple. Will step out for 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're gonna take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health.
Model Blue Devils and Temple Tigers providing a lot of entertainment for us tonight early in this one. Model up, though, 14-8 over Temple with 2:47 left to go in our first frame. Temple with the basketball, though. They're going to send it to left wing side over to Hart, who's in off the bench for Temple. Long range three, that's going to carry him off the rim there for Chris Holland, and the rebound goes to Model. They'll bring it back the other way. Working right to left, Chaden Woodley launches the long range three and knocks down his second made three of the game. 17-8 is your score, as Model has jumped out to a 9-point lead here early in this one. 2:15 left to go in the opening frame. Temple with the ball, gets behind the intended receiver of the pass, out of bounds in front of the Model bench. It's coming back to the Blue Devils, and the Blue Devils have built a little momentum here. Up 17-8 with 2:10 left to go in the first quarter. And so we get ready for John Mason to inbound the ball right next to his head coach, Jacob Travis, who's got to be really proud of the way his team has played throughout the course of the season so far, posting a 12-1 record, looking pretty darn impressive doing it, especially considering the talent that they lost of those 5 seniors that graduated off last year's team. Underneath they go to Harrell, bangs it in hard off the glass. This team has adapted to playing without those guys pretty quickly this year. And I felt like they were going to be really good this year, but I think that after having conversation with some different Model fans, that people are not surprised that they're good, that maybe is how good Model has been so far this year. They are really clicking. Hopefully it'll keep heading in that direction, because typically a Jacob Travis Model basketball team gets better as the season goes on, which when you're the competition looking at that, that's got to be a little bit scary, because they're pretty darn good right now. So Model set to inbound the ball 19-8. 1:29 left to go in the first quarter as we get ready for sub that just came into the game, Zach Nichols, getting some playing time early, just checking in. And he has got some really good minutes for the Blue Devils this year. He's contributed quite a bit. Here comes Temple on the other end. Little scoop shot is missed off the front of the iron. A little loose with the ball there. It goes out of bounds. And they are pointing in Temple's direction. And right now, a spirited Jacob Travis giving some instruction to his players. And so Temple set to inbound the basketball here, trailing. Brian Bowman set to trigger it in motion, sends it to the right wing side of things. 1:13 left to go in the first quarter. Model leads at 19-8. Temple the ball between the circles, going to fire the three, and that one's off the back of the rim. Tracking down the rebound, though, is James. It's going to stay with Temple. They may get another look at it here. They drive towards the free throw line, kick it out, no look. Going inside is going to be James. Feeds it to the right wing side to Holland. Little off-balance jump shot. Misses the shot, but he gets clobbered and is going to go to the free throw line. So a pretty hard foul there. It's going to send Holland to the charity stripe. This will be the second trip to the line in the first quarter for Temple. They were perfect their first trip, 2 of 2. But this is the first trip for Chris Holland, the junior. And so Holland puts up the first free throw. That clanks off the back of the rim. It will not fall, and the score remains in favor of Model, 19-8 with 52.7 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. Last game for Model was a victory over Sonoraville. 76-38 was that final score. He missed both the free throws, so the score remains 19-8. Model had 10 players that scored in that game. They have been sharing the basketball, getting production offensively from a lot of sources, and playing some really good defense as well. Zach Nichols with the ball on the left wing side, back up top to Bryson Denson. Going to leave it for Nichols. Fires the three. That was a little too strong. Rebound going to be picked up by Temple. They'll bring it back the other way after a one-and-done trip for the Blue Devils with 23 seconds left in the first quarter. Shot clock off. Temple across the timeline. Now they're going to leave it off for Holland. Now back across. They get it to Bowman. Inside, pass is picked off by Nichols. Good heads-up play for that young man. He now starts to drive, gets out back around the perimeter. 5 seconds on the clock. Here's Woodley, goes to work on the baseline, step-back jump shot. Misses the shot but gets fouled, and so Woodley is going to have free throws coming up here with 0.7 seconds left to go on the clock. So Model's got an opportunity to add to their totals here before we get ready for the first break of the ball game. First shot for Woodley, and that one is through. He knocks down the first of a pair of free throws, and that makes it a 12-point Model lead, 20-8. Last game against Sonoraville, Model was already up 47-14 by halftime. Second shot is through, not suggesting that'll be the case here. Long range shot, and it is through. My goodness, that was almost 3/4 of the floor, and he was able to knock it down. What an unbelievable shot. We're going to get a replay of that one here, and that was number 3, Brian Bowman, with the highlight reel monster shot from 3/4 of the way. My goodness, what a shot. That was unbelievable. All right, well, Model leads at 21-11. We're back in 30 seconds for the start of the second quarter.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber.
Wow, if you're just tuning in, as time was expiring in the first quarter, young man Brian Bowman for Temple hit a shot that was beyond a half-court shot to bring this to a 10-point, 21-11 game, still in favor of Model, but man, you don't see that very often. That was 3/4 of the way across the court. My goodness. Bowman's got the ball. He may be too far in from range. They're going to send it underneath. Ball is stripped away. Good heads-up defense by Bryson Bell. They try to feed it to Woodley. He'll kick it back out the left wing side to John Mason, who's already made 1 3 tonight. Now to Bryson Bell. On to Bryson Denson in front of the Temple bench on the far side. John Mason is knocked over. Kind of lost his balance there, and the ball rolled out of bounds. So it's coming back to Temple with 7:30 left to go in the first half of play. So Temple trying to build off the momentum of that made shot right before the end of the first quarter. Same young man just put up the shot. Point blank, misses the shot. Denson feeds it right wing side over to John Mason. Now back up top to Bryson Bell onto the left wing. Now they go back up top to John. Right wing side to Bryson Denson. Inside to Dominic Fraley. He's got 2 defenders on him. Sharp pass outside of Denson. Drives the lane. Feeds it out. Wide open Bell. And knocks down a 3. Bryson Bell, you cannot leave that young man open or he will make you pay. What a shot. 24-11. Model back on top by 13. A heave to the left wing side for Temple. Now back up top. Bowman's got it. Going to drive towards the free throw line. Leaves it off to the left wing side. Back to Bowman. Right wing. Good ball movement. And the 3 ball is made there by Chris Holland. His first bucket of the game. That cuts it back to a 10-point ball game. Model leads at 24-14. 6 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the first half. Ball nearly deflected, but Denson retains possession for the Blue Devils. Drives towards the baseline, feeds it out to Woodley. This defense is pretty quick here for this Temple team. Here's Bowman, a bounce pass underneath. Shot is too strong there for Josiah Walker. He does get fouled though. You could tell by the reaction of Temple that they felt like they missed an opportunity for a score there, but they still have opportunity for points here from the free throw line. They felt like it could have been an and 1. Perhaps it could have been, but the shot was missed. First free throw is missed. That is 3 misses from the stripe in a row for the Temple Tigers. That was the first free throw attempt by Josiah Walker. So Model maintains their 24-14 lead with one more coming up here for Josiah Walker for Temple. Second shot on the way, and that's off the back of the rim. Some really good athletes on this Temple team. We did mention earlier that all 5 of their starters from last year were seniors, so they've moved on, and Temple is kind of, let's say, rebuilding a little bit this year, but they're still a good basketball team. Harrell puts up the shot, leaves it short. Rebound picked up by Temple. Josiah Walker came out with it, gives it off to Brian Bowman. Bowman across the timeline, lobs the pass over to the left wing side over to Bullock. Now back up to Bowman from the elbow, knocks down another shot. He's got a good looking touch on his shots. He's got 5 points in the game. That cuts it to an 8-point game, but that was before Bryson Denson banged it in off the glass on the other end and has got a 3-point opportunity after the whistle. So Model back to a 10-point lead. They can make it 11 if Denson converts here on the 3-point play, and he rarely misses from the charity stripe. So Denson goes through his routine, puts up the shot and knocks it down. He is now 2 of 3 from the stripe, and Model is back to an 11-point lead, and we had a whistle and a foul that went against the Blue Devils. I think I saw him flash John Mason's number. He's kind of holding up his hands going, I don't know. But anyway, here comes Temple on the other end. They send it left wing side. Nearly got trapped, did that young man with the basketball. Now he's going to fire the 3 in traffic. Misses the shot, too strong. Coming out with it was John Mason. Pass from Denson down to Woodley. Now outside to Bell. Misses the 3-point shot. Doesn't miss those very often. And now Temple brings it back the other way after a one-and-done trip here for the Blue Devils. There's more substitution about to happen in this game. 3-point shot there from Bowman is a miss. Rebound goes to Model. They come back the other way. Here's Denson underneath off the glass. Misses the shot. And they're going to call that an offensive foul against Denson. So it's coming back to the Temple Tigers. As checking in for Temple is going to be B.J. James, one of their original starting 5. And into the game for the Model Blue Devils, you're going to have Brenton Bell checking into the game. So right now for the Blue Devils, you've got Denson, 2 Bells, Brenton and Bryson, Tyler Harrell, and also John Mason. Meanwhile, for Temple, you've got number 3, that's Brian Bowman. Also L.J. Gilbert, the freshman, in off the bench. You have Chris Holland. And you also have Isaac Briscoe and B.J. James. That's your 5 on the floor right now for Temple. And we've got, I think, a technical foul that was assessed against Model. So we're going to have free throw shots coming up here for Chris Holland. And I have to admit, I didn't see what happened. Right now, Coach Travis talking with the official. First shot is through for Chris. He'll get ready for the second free throw. And no matter the result here, Temple, in addition to the free throw shots, is going to have possession of the basketball. He knocks them both down. So this could be a significant swing here in favor of Temple after the technical foul that went against the Blue Devils. So 2 made free throws off the technical and possession of the ball. Bowman's going to lob it underneath. They get it inside. The ball is stripped, loose on the floor, and a quick tie-up is going to be called. Possession arrow is pointing in the Blue Devils' direction. And so Model Blue Devils set to inbound the basketball as John Mason feeds it into Brenton Bell, who will bring it up the floor. A little bit of pressure at half court here from Temple. Brenton Bell's able to work it away from it. They kick it out the right wing side to Bryson Bell, now on to Chaden Woodley. Here's John Mason. John Mason back up top, gives it to Bryson Bell to the right wing side to Brenton Bell. Brenton starts to move towards the lane. They try to get it underneath. The Heralds successfully do so. He scores, also draws the foul. And one of the things, just an observation here in this game, and I mentioned it earlier, is how quick this Temple is getting to the ball. You're seeing the usual great ball movement of this Model team, but they're not able to get as quick looks as they do against some other defenses because of the quickness of this Temple team. Shot is made there by Tyler Harrell, but they're getting creative and finding ways to score regardless. Models up 30-18 with 4:15 left to go in the half. B.J. James, they work it around the right wing side. Quick look at a three. That's high off the rim. It won't fall. Battle for the rebound is won by John Mason. Chaden Woodley's got the basketball. Is going to fire the quick three, and it is in. What a good-looking shot by Chaden Woodley, who's knocked down 3 threes in the first half, and Model has built a 15-point, 33-18 lead. Timeout on the floor will take it with them. 3:56 left to go. Again, Model up 33-18 over Temple. We're back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
I want to take an opportunity to thank our sponsors tonight on the radio end, presented by Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales. Instant replay on video tonight brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. Also, we got Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialist, Advent Health Redmond, Shandon Pharmacy, Dogwood Books, the Herb Shop on Broad, and Duffy's Deli on the video side of things. And we always want to urge you, if you patronize these businesses, make sure to tell them that you watch the broadcast or listen on the radio. We always enjoy getting that kind of feedback, and thank them for sponsoring the games. Helps us provide local coverage of sports, whether it's on the video or the radio end. Here's Temple into the lane, putting it up off the glass, missing the shot. Battle for the rebound. Who's going to get it? Ball ricochets off of youth players, and we're going to have a jump ball to settle it. And it points in Temple's direction. Both teams getting after the ball there. 3:30 left to go here in the first half of this one. Models up 33-18 over Temple. And now John Mason's got a towel, going to mop up the floor a little bit. You go to basketball games these days, you don't see the guy with the mop anymore. Official gives the ball to Temple. They will get ready to inbound the ball. They send it into the corner over on the left wing side. Want to go back up top with it. They get it to Bowman. Bowman goes to work, sends it left wing side, trying to get an open look on the perimeter. Defense gets there quick. Right now, Holland sends it inside, gets it to B.J. James, who knocks down another bucket, cuts it to a 13-point Model game. Model's up 33-20. We've got 3:10 left to go here in the first half of the ball game. Brenton Bell with it, going to drive towards the low block, leaves it for Harrell, gets blocked. Rebound is going to be picked up, or ball picked up by Temple rather. And Bowman going to bring it up the floor here. He crosses the timeline, goes right to the free throw line, sends it left wing side, puts up the long range 3 shot, misses it. Brenton Bell comes out with the ball. He's going to fire it across, gets it over to Chaden Woodley, who Bowman bumped into for Temple. He gets charged with a foul, and we'll get ready for Model to inbound the ball here in just a moment, leading it 33-20. Going to have some Georgia Tech hoops for you tomorrow on WLAQ. They're taking on Pitt, the Panthers. And that'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off from McCamish Pavilion down there in Midtown Atlanta. 6:30 pregame. John Mason set to inbound the ball for the Blue Devils. Tech having a tough season this year. There's a long three-point shot there by Harrell. Misses the shot. Don't see him take those shots too often. Temple across the timeline. They're going to work it towards the right wing side this time, but they're really favoring that left wing side. There's a shot from the top of the key by Bowman. Misses the shot. Here's the putback. It'll go in for Mr. James. He's got 8 points in the game, and that cuts it to a 33-22 game. 11-point lead for Model. They come back the other way. Bryson Bell now outside to John Mason. He'll dribble back between the circles, leaves it off for Brenton Bell, feeds it to the right wing side to Woodley. Now Bell back to John Mason. Mason fires it left wing side to Brenton Bell to a cutting Woodley inside. And that is going to be a whistle and a foul call before the shot. Or actually it's going to be Chaden Woodley going to the free throw line, where he has been once before. 2 of 2 on the night from the stripe. So Chaden Woodley at the line shooting 2. First free throw in the air, and that one is through. Gets ready for a second. That's the third made free throw of the ball game in 3 tries here for Chaden. We got 2 minutes left here of the first half. Model leads it now by 12, 32-22. One more coming up here for Chaden, the sophomore. Second shot on the way, and that one's going to rattle through. So he's made 4 in a row from the stripe. 35-22. Model leads it. We're under 2 minutes officially to go here in the first half of our last game of the night. And it's been a victorious night for Model so far. The girls won 45-40 in a tough battle with the Temple Lady Tigers. Earlier in the evening, the JV boys team won 48-34, so they're trying for the trifecta here. Chaden Woodley takes the inbound pass. John Mason going to fire to the left wing side to Bell. Gives it to Brenton Bell. He gets blocked as he goes in. But there is some contact, so we're going to see Brenton Bell with an opportunity for his first. Nope, actually that was on the floor, so we're out of bounds. So we're going to see a clean block out of bounds. I'll get it out eventually, folks. Bear with me. John Mason surveys the floor, gives it to Harrell. Back to John Mason, fires the 3, and that one kind of sailed on him. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul. Who did they get that time? Yeah, Chaden Woodley's going to go to the free throw line. I believe the foul was on number 13, Josiah Bullock, his second. So more free throws coming up for Chaden Woodley. He is 4-4 from the stripe here in the first half. First one on the way, and that one rattles out. I didn't mean to jinx him, I promise. Justin Finley set to check in here momentarily here for the Blue Devils. One more free throw shot coming up right now from Chaden Woodley. And that one is through, so he is 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. I like that percentage. Temple inbound the ball, walk it up the floor in the hands of Brian Bowman, the sophomore. He is across the timeline. Temple a little jump shot. That's off the side of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Tyler Harrell. Brenton Bell now with the ball across the midcourt stripe. We're almost down to the 1 minute mark of this one. John Mason, they'll work it around the horn to the left wing side to Brenton Bell. Now to Justin Finley and off the bench. Bryson Bell, Brenton Bell, now Finley. Finley between the circles. They work it around the right wing side, getting it to Brenton Bell. Brenton Bell with the ball into the lane. Fires it back out to Bryson Bell. He'll drive, puts up the little runner. That one rattles off the front of the back of the rim rather. And now Temple comes back the other way after getting the rebound. Ball loose, ricochets off a couple of players. Tyler Harrell comes out with it. Justin Finley takes the pass across court from John Mason. John Mason with the ball now on the left wing. 34 seconds left on the clock here in the half. Driving is Mason, turnaround jump shot, misses it. Rebound picked up by Temple. Now the shot clock's off with 25 seconds left to go, so Temple, if they want to, they can work the clock down and take the last shot of the half. 17 seconds on the clock. Model leads it by 14, 36-22. And it looks like Temple wants the last crack at it. Now they'll go to work. 3-ball in the air, and it is through. Man, what a shot by Chris Holland. His second made three of the ball game. And now Model on the other end, missing the long-range shot right there as time expires. So that's the end of your first half. Model leads it by a score of 36-25 as Temple gets the last shot there from Chris Holland, making his second three of the ball game to end the half, and we are officially at halftime. Model 36, Temple 25. We're back for the halftime show after a 3-minute break.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You look exhausted.
Dude, my to-do list got the best of me. I finally sharpened the blade, trimmed the yard, raked the leaves, and then I mowed.
Yeah, me too.
Get out. You're not even breaking a sweat.
I know. My grasshopper trimmed around the yard, power backed the leaves, and then mowed. I did all of it without leaving my seat.
I gotta get a grasshopper.
Finish fall cleanup and be ready for winter with a grasshopper mower.
Here we go again.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, hold up.
Glad to be with you tonight. We're inside the friendly confines of Woodard Gymnasium, where we're at halftime of our final game of the evening, where the Model Blue Devils lead the Temple Tigers by a score of 36-25. So we got two good ball teams playing against each other in this basketball game tonight. A lot of fun there in the first half. We're going to break down the scoring from the first half. Model would lead it 21-11 at the end of the first quarter. The first quarter would end with an electric shot there from Brian Bowman, who would knock one down from 3/4 across the floor. So it was beyond half-court shot there for that young man to cut it to a 10-point game. So Model outscored Temple 21-11 in that first quarter. Then in the second quarter of the ball game, Model would outscore Temple by only 1 point, 15-14. So the offensive production a little bit better there for Temple and not quite as effective there for Model in the second quarter of the game. And credit where credit's due. I think some of that has to do with how quick the defense is for the Temple Tigers, as Model not getting their usual looks off their ball movement as easily as they appear to in a lot of contests. And that's my assessment anyway. But nonetheless, Model does lead it at halftime, 36-25. Still got a long way to go in this one, but here's how the scoring breaks down individually for each team. We're going to start with the trailing Temple Tigers. They would pick up 2 points apiece for Isaac Briscoe and also Josiah Bullock. Both of those guys in the original starting five here tonight for Temple. Also going to get 5 points from Brian Bowman, the young man that hit the long shot that we referenced a couple of times in the broadcast that we've seen a lot of looks at. There it is again if you're watching on the video. That people are going to be watching that one over and over again, no question about it. B.J. James had 8 points for Temple there in that first half, split evenly between the first and second quarter, and Chris Holland had a big second quarter. He scored 8 points as well. So the two leading scorers threatening double digits there for Temple in the first half were B.J. James and Chris Holland, each with 8 points. And by the way, Chris Holland knocked down a couple of threes. So 3 made threes there for Temple in the first half. Meanwhile, for the Blue Devils, they pick up 3 points from John Mason, an early three in the first quarter, 5 points from Bryson Denson, 3 points from Bryson Bell, 2 points from Dominic Fraley, 7 points from Tyler Harrell, and the leading scorer in the game in the first half for the Blue Devils and overall was Chaden Woodley, who had 14 points, including 3 made threes. So let me do a three-point check there for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like the Blue Devils made 6 threes there in the first half of the ball game. So 6 threes made by the Blue Devils there in the first half. So that runs down the score, and we're going to take another 3-minute timeout, and then we'll come back with the start of the second half after this. But again, Model on top by a score of 36-25 over Temple at halftime. We're back for the start of the second half after a 3-minute break.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
we're grateful to keep you company here tonight with a live broadcast of Model basketball inside Woodard Gymnasium here on the campus of Model High School. Right now, Model, as we get ready to resume play to start the third quarter, has an 11-point lead, 36-25. They led by 10 after the end of the first quarter. But this is a scrappy Temple team with some good, quick athletes on the team. So this is going to be a lot of work to pick up the victory here. Shot is up and missed from Chaden Woodley. And here comes Temple back the other end. And that is going to be a whistle and a foul that's going to go against the Blue Devils and earn a trip to the charity stripe here for the Temple Tigers. So going to the free throw line, it looks like it's going to be Chris Holland, who is 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. He missed his first 2 free throw attempts, but made his second 2. And he's got his 5th and 6th attempts here. He makes the first. That's 3 in a row that he's made there. He's got 9 points in the game's leading scorer for the Temple Tigers. So one more coming up for Chris, the junior. Chris Holland, second free throw on the way, and that one is through. So he's made 4 in a row. That cuts it to a 36-27 game. 9-point lead here for Model. And they will send it to left wing side. John Mason back up top to Bryson Bell. He was trying to send the ball to the right wing side to Chaden Woodley, but Chaden Woodley was cutting towards the inside rather than toward where the ball was going. So a little miscommunication there between teammates for the Model Blue Devils results in a turnover. Temple's got the ball. They're going to feed it to the far side. Now back up top. They get it to Bowman. Left wing side, drives baseline, kicks it back out, stolen by Woodley. Here he goes, in for the one-hand jam, but misses the dunk. Putback is going to go, though. So Chaden Woodley does eventually get the points. And Model now leads it again by 11, 38-27. Driving is Bowman, just trying to get it to the rim. Boy, he hit the deck hard on his rear end, kind of on his side when he went down on his hip. And he grimaced in pain. He got back up quick. But, man, that hurt just watching it. I think he was fouled, so we're going to see him go to the free throw line. The official's going to come over and check on him. He's going to take a deep breath here before he takes these free throws. He hit hard. Official taking another look at him, says he's good to go, so we'll see his free throws coming up. He's tough, there's no doubt about it. If I hit the floor like that, it would, well, let's just say it'd be very bad. He misses the first free throw. One more coming up for Bowman, and that one's going to rim out. And rebound, though, boy, quite a battle for it, but he travels. Came out with the ball, but he traveled. And now we'll get ready for Model to inbound the ball here with an 11-point lead with 7:06 left to go in the third quarter. Bryson Denson crosses over the midcourt stripe with it. He's going to lob it over to Dominic Fraley. Ball is poked free, nearly stolen away. It went in the backcourt, but it was poked free from Temple. They were the last to touch it. So Model retains possession of the ball, driving baseline, circus shot for Chaden Woodley on the reverse layup. Man, highlight reel stuff. Of course, you get a lot of that from that young man. Into the lane goes Temple. Going to fire it back out around the perimeter. Now they'll drive, putting up the shot, missing. Rebound is going to be picked up by the Blue Devils. John Mason ultimately came out with the ball. Bryson Denson receives the pass from Bryson Bell, crosses over the midcourt stripe, sends it right wing side to Chaden Woodley, who's having a monster game. He's got 18 points, and that last shot was something else. Here comes Fraley in, misses the point blank shot. Rebound goes to Temple. We've got 6:05 left to go in the third quarter. Model is back out to a 13-point lead. Here's Temple into the lane. Here is the shot. Missed. Rebound picked up by John Mason. Going to have a sub into the game before Model inbounds the ball. Temple's L.J. Gilbert checks in. We'll tell you who all's on the floor for both teams. For the Blue Devils, you got John Mason, Bryson Denson, Chaden Woodley, Bryson Denson, and Tyler Harrell. And then for Temple, you're going to have Josiah Walker, also L.J. Gilbert. Driving is Denson, puts it up and scores. With the ball now for Temple is Brian Bowman. Also, Chris Holland is out there for them. And then B.J. James. We worked around to it eventually. Inside to James, puts up the shot, and it rattles through. So James now with 10 points here for Temple. 42-29, Model out in front. They're going to kick it out. There is John Mason to Chaden Woodley. Goes to work inside, puts up the little scoop, and it is in. Chaden Woodley now with 20 points in the ball game, and Model has grown the lead back to 15, 44-29, and they can do it quick. This team can score in bunches and in a hurry. Temple's got it. You got to be careful on this team. Bounce pass to the right wing side. Bowman gets blocked there by Bell. Rebound picked up by Temple. They try to bang it in off the glass. It's missed. Here's Denson, wants to work fast inside to Bell off the glass, off the side of the rim. No good. Here comes Temple back the other way. Bowman's got it. Goes into the lane, feeds it off to a teammate, dribbles baseline, pass inside, missed, shot. Second look, though, is going to go for Josiah Walker, who really stayed with it there and got the points and now has an opportunity to convert a three-point play from the stripe. I like the fight in this Temple team. We mentioned that they, graduated a lot of their key guys from last year's team, but this is a scrappy bunch. They're physical, they're quick to the ball, and they just keep fighting. It'll be a tough out for any team they play this year. He converts the three-point play, 42-32. That cuts it back to a 12-point game with 4:39 left to go in the ball game. Some substitutions in for Temple. Checking back in, you got Isaiah Briscoe. I'll try to catch the other one. There it is. It's Jamarian Hart. John Mason going to drive the lane. Nobody picked him up. Missed the layup, though, and the rebound's going to go to Temple. I think they were expecting him to pass the ball. I was. Shot is up. Good deception there by Mason, but he didn't get the finish he was looking for. But Model's got the ball back. Denson's got it. Going to drive the lane, puts up the shot, and it rattles through. He's got a three-point opportunity coming up after having been fouled. So we are almost midway through the third quarter of the ball game, and then Model is out to a 14-point lead. They can make it 15 if Bryson Denson can knock down a third free throw of the game. Shot on the way, and that one's going to be a little flat. Mason gets the rebound. 2 shots for Mason, and he knocks down the second one, and the score moves to 48-32. Mason's got 5 points in the game. And that's one of the things that we're seeing a little bit more of this year for Mason, is he's scoring a bit more points. Has a little bit bigger role on terms of the offensive side of the floor. Here's a shot from three-point land. It's missed. John Mason gets the rebound. Going to feed it off with the outlet pass to Denson, trying to get it to Woodley underneath. The ball is deflected out of bounds by number 0, Chris Holland. And so Model set to inbound the ball up 48-32. Model is going to take on Darlington coming up on Friday. Bounce pass inside to Woodley at the baseline, trying to pass it out to Brenton Bell. It gets picked off, though, by number 1, B.J. James. And Temple going to drive the lane. Shot goes, but I think the foul was on the floor before the shot. And we should see free throws here, but I don't think the shot, well, they did count it actually. So continuation there. And free throws coming up. So the score moves to 48-34, and at the free throw line is going to be Josiah Bullock. So Bullock with an opportunity for a three-point play here for the Tigers. Shot is up. So now that I think about it, Darlington is facing all Tigers teams this week. Of course, the Darlington Tigers handed the Blue Devils their only loss of the season so far. That was in the championship game of the Christmas basketball tournament. And now they'll get their first crack at the Darlington Tigers on Friday night at the Huffman Center of the regular season in a regular season region game. And boy, there have been some intense battles between Model and Darlington over the last few years. That's become quite a rivalry between those two teams. So that'll be just an unbelievable atmosphere and opportunity for some good basketball coming up on Friday night. Not going to broadcast it, but I intend to be there. Bryson Bell's got the ball, tries to work around a trap, gets it to Brenton Bell, now on to Chaden Woodley, fires to three, and that one's off the side of the rim. And the ball's poked out of bounds. It's coming back to Temple. So 3:06 left to go in the third quarter. Model leads at 48-35, a 13-point Model lead as we edge towards the 3-minute mark of the third frame of the ball game. Model has won 5 games in a row. They'd love to make it 6 tonight against a really, really tough opponent. Ball stolen away one-on-one with Woodley. Shakes off the defender, scoops it towards the basket, misses the shot. And Woodley does get some contact, enough for the official to blow the whistle and put him at the free throw line. And Woodley's a good free throw shooter so far in this game. He has 6 attempts, which he has made 5. So he's 5 of 6 from the stripe, with 2 more coming up here. His first free throws of the third quarter. First shot for Woodley is going to rattle off the rim. He'll get ready for a second free throw. Second shot on the way. That's going to rattle in. I know we're talking basketball here tonight, but boy, there's been some interesting high school football news that has been emerging over the last few days. Of course, first thing that we heard was that John Reed was retiring. Rumors have been circulating around about that for a while, but it turned out to be true. Shot on the way, 3 balls going to be missed. So everybody's waiting to see who the replacement for Coach Reed is going to be, with some enormous shoes to fill. Won back-to-back championships at Rome there in football several years ago, and also won 2 at Alcoa up in Tennessee. Ball stolen away. But another domino that fell this week related to high school football, and this one surprised me. I don't have an inside track information for things going on in Rockmart, really. But Coach Biff Parson is now going to Hart County to be their head football coach. I did not see that one coming. He's had a ton of success down there at Rockmart. And now Rockmart's looking for a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see what those announcements look like in the coming weeks. I would imagine it won't be long before you start to hear the answers to those questions. But certainly anybody that follows local sports are interested to know about that, including me. Bryson Denson ready to feed the ball in here for the Blue Devils. Now back to the basketball. Model up 49-35. Checking back into the game here for Temple is Jamarian Hart. Checking out is going to be B.J. James, I believe. And Model surveys the floor, going to fire it into Harrell. Right wing side, they go to Bryson Bell. Bell around to Brenton Bell. He slips on the floor and travels. I told you we need the mop guy out here. Temple set to inbound the ball. Chris Holland feeds it in. He gets it into Brian Bowman. Bowman walks it up the floor here for the Temple Tigers, wearing 2 different color shoes. The one on the near side looks purple, and the one on the right side is kind of a orangish yellow color maybe. They fire it to the right wing side, driving. Now they'll kick it back out. Bowman trying to send it to the left wing side to Hart, kind of got away from him, and it goes out of bounds. So it's coming back to the Blue Devils with 1:44 left to go in the third quarter as we edge closer to the final frame of basketball here tonight. Brenton Bell to bring it across the midcourt stripe for the Blue Devils. Leaves it off for Chaden Woodley. Woodley goes towards the elbow, puts up the shot. Rebound picked up by Temple. Ball poked free by Bryson Bell, but it stays with Temple. Now with the ball is Bowman, the sophomore, drives in, kicks out left wing side. Now back to Bowman, puts up the shot from just in front of the free throw line, knocks it down. Bowman now with 7 points in a ball game, and we're almost at the 1 minute mark. Here's Brenton Bell for the Blue Devils. Now Bryson Bell, right wing side to Chaden Woodley. Now to the deep corner on the right wing side to Bryson Bell. Back up top. Or Denson was the one in the corner with it. Driving is Woodley, puts up the shot, and it is through. Chaden Woodley just having a monster game, scoring a lot of points here in this third quarter. He scored 9 points in the third quarter. He has 23, I think. I'll do some math a little bit later. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Bell, so it's going to stay with the Temple Tigers on their end of the floor with 41.7 seconds left in the third quarter. Tigers trailing the Blue Devils 51-37, 38 seconds as they inbound the ball. They're going to go to the far side with it to Holland. Now back around up top. They go to Bowman, puts up the long range shot. That's off the side of the backboard. Now back up top, long range three, high arcing shot is missed. Rebounds picked up by Bryson Bell. Now to Bryson Denson. Denson dribbles across the midcourt stripe, shot clock off. Down to the 10-second mark of the third quarter. Denson going to make a move, puts up the three-point shot and drains it. Bryson Denson knocking down the three late in the third quarter, and a heave there by Bowman, who made one from beyond half court earlier to end the first quarter of the game, or the first half of the game rather. Doesn't do it that time though, and Model leads at 54-37 as we enter the final frame. We'll step out for 1 minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Instant Replay is brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. We also thank Mathis Trailer and Equipment, Shannon Pharmacy, WC Timber, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialists, Advent Health Redmond, The Herb Shop on Broad, Dogwood Books, and Duffy's Deli. Please support the businesses that support us.
Devils would outscore the Tigers 18-12 in that third quarter of the basketball game. So with that said, they go into the fourth quarter of the game leading at 54-37 to the Blue Devils. Temple opens up the final quarter with possession of the basketball with a pretty big hill to climb. Ball is kicked by Chaden Woodley, so it stays on this end with the Temple Tigers. So Temple will feed the ball in. Jamarian Hart is going to get it into Chris Holland. He'll go right to the top of the key, feeds it inside. Missed shot there by B.J. James, and a rebound picked up by the Blue Devils. They'll bring it back the other way for their first possession here of the final quarter of the ball game. Chaden Woodley receives the pass on the right wing side from Bryson Denson. They'll work it all the way around the horn back to Denson in front of the model bench on the far side. Now to Bryson Bell. John Mason with the ball, surveys the floor to a cutting Chaden Woodley, puts up the shot. And sometimes it feels like that young man just can't miss. He has got 25 points in the game and leads all scorers. 7:12 left to go in the game, and Model is out to a 19-point 56-37 lead. Temple going to send it to the right wing side. Now trying to get it back up top. Ball was deflected, but it stays with Temple. Now they'll work it inside. They go baseline with it. Ball loose, but picked up. A quick shot, missed. Rebound going to be picked up by Jamarian Hart, not Hall. They go into the lane with a runner. That one rattles off the rim, and the ball is picked up on the rebound by Bryson Bell. Gives it to John Mason, who gives it to Bryson Denson as they cross center court. Now to Chaden Woodley, back over to John Mason. Bryson Denson going to work baseline. Now backs up, sends it back to Bryson Bell. Now on to Chaden, who wants to work the lane. Leaves it off for Dominic Fraley. Great unselfish feed there, and good find by Chaden Woodley to get the ball to Fraley, who knocks down the shot. So Fraley now with 4 points in the ball game, and Model out to a 58-37 lead, biggest lead of the game. And they are in control right now. Here comes Temple into the lane. Shot is up, little flat. Rebound picked up by the Blue Devils. John Mason came out with it. Bryson Denson on the other end gets it to the rim and gets fouled. We're going to see Denson going to the free throw line. You know, Bryson in this game, Bryson Denson, he's picked up 12 points. His best quarter scoring so far was that third frame where he had 7 points. He's got a chance to add to his totals and add to the Model lead here from the charity stripe with 6 minutes left to go. Shot on the way, and that one is through. One more coming up for Bryson Denson, who always does a fabulous job from the charity stripe. Bryson playing in his junior year. Has been a contributor to this really good model basketball team ever since he was a freshman. And it's been interesting and fun to watch him develop his game over the last few years. Second shot on the way for Bryson. And he's definitely gotten better year to year, and he was good to start with. Temple brings it back the other way. Going to send it left wing side. Going to work baseline. They leave it underneath. Shot is up and missed. Put back won't go, and a foul is called. And we're going to see Josiah Bullock earn himself a trip to the charity stripe. And he's been solid there. Limited attempts. He's had 3 shots, but he's made them all. So he's 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. And if there's any hope whatsoever of Temple making a comeback in this game, which obviously the chances are slim against this model team and the hill they've got to climb, they're going to have to do the damage a lot at the free throw line because they need points with the clock stopped. First one is made by Josiah Bullock. One more coming up for the junior. Shot is on the way, and he knocks them both down. He is now 5 of 5 from the stripe in the game, and that cuts it to a 20-point game. And now the Blue Devils are on the other end of the floor. They're going to feed it back out. Bryson Bell puts up the 3 ball and knocks it down. Bryson Bell makes his second 3 of the ball game. And now Temple brings it up the floor across the timeline. Boy, that hurt. 5:28 remaining in the game. Temple with the basketball, fighting hard to try to get back in this game. They're going to put that one high off the glass. A missed shot. John Mason with another rebound. The feed underneath, outlet pass. Bryson Bell knocks down the layup. And what a great pass there for the Blue Devils. And we're going to see a timeout taken here with 5:12 remaining in this contest. Model up 64-39, and we're glad you're with us for live coverage of model basketball. So what we're going to do is take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more here in this final frame. Welcome back in, everybody, to live coverage of model basketball tonight. Whether you're watching from home on the live stream or perhaps you're out driving around tonight, catching some hoops on the radio as you're doing whatever it is you're doing this evening. But whatever it is, we're just glad that you're with us tonight. Models up 64-39 over Temple here, trying to pick up their 6th victory in a row. And Temple now with the basketball. They work at the left wing side. Now going to work it back up top. Now send it to the right side of the floor. Ball is going to be poked free, but it's going to stay with Temple as they retain possession. Spin move into the lane, a kick out, 3 ball in the air. That one rattles off the rim. John Mason gets the rebound for the Blue Devils. Jaden Woodley takes it across the timeline, feeds it to Denson, who cuts right towards the basket, misses the shot, and a whistle and a foul is going to be charged against Temple. So I believe we're going to see some free throws coming up here with 4:38 left to go here in the ball game. No, it's actually on the floor. So we'll see John Mason inbound the ball here for the Blue Devils. He surveys the floor. He's going to lob it in, gets it to Denson. Denson between the circles, fires right, gets it to Mason. Now on to Dominic Fraley, who stands at the baseline. Gets it out to Bryson Bell. Now back to Dominic Fraley. Going to drive strong baseline. Kicks it out. Wide open Bryson Denson. And, yep, nothing but net there for Bryson as he knocks down his 3rd 3 of the basketball game. 67-39. 4:14 left to go here in the ball game. And Temple with the basketball. As we move towards the mid-mark here of the final quarter of the ball game, Temple will spin around, goes baseline, kicks it out, open 3 on the way. That one's high off the rim. Ball poked out of bounds, and officials pointing in Model's direction as John Mason had predicted with his hand gestures. So we get ready for John to inbound the ball here for the Blue Devils. Jaden Woodley's going to bring it up the floor, handling the ball for the Blue Devils. Going to fire it across, gets it to Bryson Denson, kicks it out. There's Bryson Bell with a wide open three. Misses that one off the side of the rim. Here's Denson, puts back the shot, misses it. And the rebound goes to Temple this time. They're going to take the ball back the other way, trailing 67-39. Temple with it between the circles. B.J. James going to send it to the near side, gets it over to Josiah Bullock, back up top. Now into the hands of Chris Holland. They'll feed it to the near side to Bowman. Bowman starts to work. They are working the perimeter now. 3:15 left to go as more fans head for the exits, feeling like this one's settled. Here's John Mason after the outlet pass and lays it in. John Mason now with 7 points in the game. Great feed and good score there by Mason. And now it's a 30-point lead here for the Blue Devils. 69-39 is your score. And Model in a lot of their games this year has been dominant. Temple going to work into the lane. Block shot by Chaden Woodley. John Mason outlet pass to Bryson Denson and lays it in. The Model really pulling away in this one, up by a score of 71-39 with 2:34 left to go. So it's a matter of the final score. This one's going to be a win for the Blue Devils for sure. Bounce pass underneath. Goes out of bounds. It's coming back to the Blue Devils, and now we'll have wholesale substitutions in for the Blue Devils. As checking out will be Bryson Bell, Chaden Woodley, John Mason, Bryson Denson. On the floor now for the Blue Devils, you got Tyler Harrell, Grady Hickman, Justin Finley, Brenton Bell, Zach Nichols. Guys that can still get you some points. I don't think the scoring's done. Here's Nichols on the other end. Grady Hickman now to the right wing side to Brenton Bell. And that's one of the things that Model has in its favor this year, some pretty good depth. Here is Zach Nichols. Justin Finley feeds it to the near side. Now back around the horn. They get it to Zach Nichols. Backs up, resets the offense with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tyler Harrell on the high post. Now out to Brenton Bell. They got to take a shot. Here's Zach Nichols right before the buzzer. Misses the three-point shot. And now Temple will throw an outlet pass on the other side of the floor. 1:40 left to go with Model up 71-39. There's a missed shot off the side of the rim. Rebound picked up by Model. Lob underneath the Harrell. Post up, puts up the shot, misses. Ball ricochets off a couple of players. Temple comes out with it with 1:26 left to go. They bring it back the other way. Brian Bowman across the timeline. Chris Holland. Now they work it around the horn to the left wing side. Back to Bowman, who now stands on the left wing with it. Feeds it inside to Bullock. He wants to post up. He's got two defenders in his face. Has to kick it back out. And now Temple with an opportunity on the right wing side. No, the defenders are there. Shot is up as he moved his way inside, and Josiah Walker scored. He's got 5 points. Under a minute to go officially, and now we're going to have substitutions into the game here for the Blue Devils. Checking in, you're going to have Matt Johnson and Bryson Buck. So all the original starters are out of the game here for the Blue Devils. And so you've got Buck, Hickman, Nichols, Finley, and Johnson. Model with the basketball with 53 seconds left on the clock and a 71-41 30-point lead. Up top they go to Nichols. Left wing side to Johnson. Now back up top to Finley. Going to work it inside. Finley with a little runner is going to be missed. Rebound going to be picked up by Kendall Blackwell in off the bench here for Temple. Bringing up the force, Chris Holland. Sends the signals as he crosses center court, directing traffic on offense. Holland going to feed it right wing. There's a quick look at a three. That's high off the back of the rim. 22 seconds, and perhaps Model will be able to dribble out the remaining seconds of the game. Nichols got it. Feeds it off to Johnson on the right wing. Here's Hickman. Now Nichols. Back up top to Johnson. Johnson with the ball. 7 seconds on the clock. Nichols with it. Temple still defending here, but now Nichols will back up and dribble out the remaining seconds. And it's in the books. Your Model Blue Devils have won 6 in a row tonight by the final score of 71-41, pulling away against the Temple Tigers. And Model now moves their season record to 13-1, 5-0 in region play out of Region 6 Class A Division I. Meanwhile, Temple moves to 8-9 and 3-3. And we will take a 3-minute break, come back and wrap up our broadcast here from Model High School. Model wins at 71-41, and we will be back to run down the scoring after these quick messages. Back in 3 minutes.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
Well, we welcome you back one more time as we get ready to wind down coverage of Model basketball tonight with Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ. Whether you're watching on video or listening on the radio tonight, hope you enjoyed the broadcast. But the Model Blue Devils are winners tonight all the way around. The boys just capped off the evening with a 71-41 victory, pulling away from the Temple Tigers there in the second half to win big. Earlier in the evening, the Model Lady Blue Devils picked up a hard-fought win over Temple, 45-41. And just before that, the Model boys JV team picked up a victory as well. So they pick up 3 victories in a sequence there. It was pretty exciting to see tonight. Some good basketball inside of Woodard Gymnasium. Here's how it would break down in terms of the scoring. We'll start with the Temple Tigers. They would have 2 players in double digits. We'll talk about those guys in a couple of minutes. But 5 points for Josiah Walker, 2 points for Isaac Briscoe, 7 points for Josiah Bullock. And then with 7 points was Brian Bowman, including a 3-point shot that he made to end the first quarter of the basketball game, and that was beyond half court, so it was about 3/4 of the way across the court where he made that shot from, again, in the first quarter of the ball game. So wanted to point that out again. And then the two players for Temple who ended up in double digits, Chris Holland and B.J. James, each had 10 points in the contest. So Temple Tigers coming up short tonight, 71-41. Meanwhile, for your Model Blue Devils, who once again just had an offensive explosion in store for their opponent tonight. Model came into the game averaging close to 72 points. They got close to that average tonight against a team that had a lot of quickness, I thought, on defense. Still got close to that average, right at it, at 71 points. They would pick up 7 points from John Mason, 8 points from Bryson Bell, 4 points for Dominic Fraley, 7 points for Tyler Harrell. And the two leading scorers tonight for the Model Blue Devils would be Bryson Denson, who picked up 18 points, and then Chaden Woodley, who would pick up 25 points in the basketball game. And of course, by the time you got, into the fourth quarter, a good portion of that quarter, you had a lot of subs that got into the game late. So anyway, great night for the Model Blue Devils tonight, and they will get ready for a tough test coming up later on in the week, and that is going to be over at Darlington School inside the Huffman Center in the Van Ness Arena as both model teams take on Darlington. I'll do a quick check on the time of those games for you real quick. They will be at 6 and 7:30, it looks like. That's what it is on the schedule. You may want to double check on that. But that's what it says on the schedule currently. So anyway, looking forward to that coming up. No radio, no video for those games coming up on Friday from the Huffman Center. We will be back with you with the next broadcast here from Model High School against Bremen next Tuesday. So the next live stream and radio will be against Bremen on Tuesday at 6 and 7:30. We got Georgia Tech hoops coming up for you tomorrow. Pitt at Tech, pregame at 6:30 tomorrow. 7 o'clock tip-off for that one. Well, that's going to put a wrap on our broadcast for tonight. Real quick, we'll recognize the crew one more time as we bid you adieu tonight. Midcourt cameras, Benin Abernathy and Clay Hardiker. Pan Tilt and Zoom, PTZ and scoreboard, Levi Miller. Replay was Nathan Patterson. And Mike Garrett is the director tonight. And for Lynn Butler back at the studio, I'm Matt Davis with play-by-play commentary courtesy of WLAQ. Hope you have a great evening, everybody. And go Blue Devils. Great wins tonight for all three of the teams that we saw on the floor tonight inside Woodard Gymnasium. So long, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Have a great night.